Hello everyone, my name is Doug Kasamas and I'm running for the Mundelein Park and Recreational District Board. As a former Chief Technology Officer for the state of Illinois and the Director of IT for the Lake County Health Department, I wanted to share with you how we can use technology to provide greater transparency in our government. I created this tool myself based on publicly available data, and I hope you find it interesting. You can enter the tool by going to my website, kasamasforparks.com, and clicking on the Click for Greater Transparency button found on my website. From there, you'll be taken to a dashboard. This dashboard contains all the revenue sources and spending for the Park District for the past 3 years. You can filter by function, by department, and by year. I have information from the 2019 activity, the 2020 projected activity, because they haven't closed the books yet, and the 2021 budget. So my wife and daughters have been heavily involved in the Mundelein dance program for a number of years, and it's a great program. If I wanted to find out more about the dance program, I could select function, select dance, hit apply, click the top of the function button again to close the window, and you'll see all the revenue and expenses used for the dance program in 2019, projected for 2020, and the 2021 budget. In 2021, the budget is expected to have approximately $109,000 from charges directly from the participants of the program, and using a little over or nearly $4,000 in tax revenue. On the expense side, $47,000 will be used for operating supplies and expenses, $48,000 tied to compensation and benefits, and $9,000 tied to contractual services. These same numbers are listed in tabular format below, and if you even want a greater level of specificity, you can hit the plus sign on top of the table, and I'll show you even a greater breakdown of the revenue and expense categories. So now let's say you're interested in finding out more specifically about a specific athletic program. So you go ahead and select athletics, and the athletic programs are tied to departments. So in this case, let's say you're interested in finding more information about karate. You can apply just for the karate program. Click the department box to close the window. And you can see that all of the revenue are tied for the karate program directly for those participants, charges for the program, and expenses, contractual services. As you can see, our revenues outrun our expenses for the program this past year. If you're just interested in a given year and not the entire year, you can just select 2021 and you'll be able to get a view just for this upcoming year. Now let's talk a little bit about Barefoot Bay. Barefoot Bay is actually part of the aquatics program. Apply, click the function button on the top, and then under departments, only select those departments that are tied to Barefoot Bay. Barefoot Bay Concessions, and Barefoot Bay Guards. Hit apply, and you can see how the revenue and expenses are broken down for Barefoot Bay. In 2020, the plan is to have daily fees fund approximately $340,000 towards its expenses, memberships $120,000, and charges for goods and services $211,000. On the expenses side, operating supplies and expenses, compensation and benefits, and contractual services. If you go up to 2019, you may notice that the expense pie chart is actually bigger than the revenue pie chart, because in 2019 the expenses outran revenue at Barefoot Bay. Because of the pandemic and Barefoot Bay was closed, there's very little in terms of either revenue or expenses in 2020. I hope you find this tool interesting, and I would encourage you to play around with it a little bit, because it really does provide some pretty unique and interesting insights. If you have any questions, feel free to give me drop me an email. I'd love to hear from you. My email address is kasamas@yahoo.com. And finally, I hope to bring other new ideas like this and energy to the Park District Board and ask for your support in the election on April 6th.